We are back. It is week 5 of this NFL 2022 season preview. We're getting you ready for kickoff. We're less than a month away. We're getting there. What is it, September 8th? Let's go. Let's do it. But hey, we're talking more teams, more previews. I got the NFC 9 through 12, so middle of the road, not at the bottom, but they're not going to make the playoffs. Sean's got the AFC. We got some more housekeeping notes, some 3 and outs. We're going to talk wealthiest players at each position. So stay tuned. Hit that subscribe button. Just nickel and dime. Sean, we're getting closer to that sweet kickoff. I can't wait to hear the Red Zone channel go off for the first week.
Yeah. Pumped. It's like there's somebody online who basically just replays Dan Hansen's, whatever his name is. Like they play his intro and they're
Chris
like,
Hansen?
I can't wait. Yeah, whatever it is.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like that's a friend of mine. You know what I mean?
It is. His voice, his voice is synonymous with the Red Zone. And like, I really think that's how the bulk of us fans are taking in that content, that football content on Sunday. It's just we get everything because we want it all, you know?
Yeah. Especially, like it's like you watch an out of market team. So you got to go digging for the bucks sometimes. But I mean, your team's good. So they're on Fox and things like that, But like some days I don't feel like trying to find a link or dig for the Panthers game. So I'm like, if something cool happens, Red Zone's going to let me know.
Yeah. So, exactly.
I follow it on my phone. I see who's doing well. You know what I mean? But like, we're watching Red Zone.
Well, and that's the thing is like, I want the NFL to, and maybe this leads to a deeper conversation, right? But I want your actual opinion on this too. But like, do you think they give us too much overload sometimes? Because not only do we have to pay attention to Red Zone, which we like because it gives us everything all there, but we're also paying attention to our fantasy squads. We might have stuff that we do, you know what I'm saying? So like,
well, let me answer your question with a question.
All right.
Would you have it any other way?
If it was something else, no. If it was something else, no.
Exactly. Football, and don't get me wrong, you know me, I'm a sports fan. You know what I mean? I love my Braves. I love, hockey. I love basketball.
Yeah.
But I can't take that much content in any other sport other than football. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I literally could watch, like when the season was kind of falling apart and we got football every single day.
Yeah.
Didn't get tired of
it. Nah, that's the thing. Cause even when they out, they'll pull you back in, but it's always some compelling storyline or you have a favorite player that's on a different team that you finally get to see, you know what I mean?
Or some crazy game that was good for no reason.
And not only that, but since we're a pretty blue collar show, right? Like I'll say this, it actually is better for the NFL to be having so many games and so many different days because not everybody has the same schedule, right? So there's always football when you get time,
and that makes it even better. When you hadn't watched a game in a week and a half, just because life, and you sit down and you get to watch that game.
It's perfect. It's perfect.
Yeah,
I like it. All
right. Well, in true off-season fashion, when the NFL kicks up camp, we got housekeeping notes galore. So let's go ahead and kick into that because we got a lot of them. Bears linebacker Smith requests a trade, says Chicago doesn't value him. How you feel about that, Sean?
I think he thinks that they don't value him because they're not putting the talent around him and trying to really maximize Roquan on his rookie deal. Like he hadn't been in the league that long. His first year, whatever, but then like he started to come on and show you he was the player that they drafted him to be. And now he's making noise because honestly, like it just comes, I feel like it comes from a good place because he wants to win. Right. And they're not in position to do that.
No. Hey, who knows? They might end up on by 9 through 12 today.
Oh,
or do they find it into the bottom of the NFC? NFL says Rodgers' use of ayahuasca does not violate the drug policy.
Man, well, next offseason is going to be the offseason of ayahuasca, okay? Because that means everybody else getting on board, you know?
Yeah, who would you, if you had to go through, because I've done some, like, I've watched some of the shows and read up on it because it fascinates me.
Right.
But I don't know if I could do it. But if you had to go through it with an NFL player, who would you want? Who would you want to go through ayahuasca with?
Who would I want to go? Honestly, can we take former players and I'll give it's a layup answer. Pat McAfee, man. Like, let's go.
Okay, I'll go Marshawn Lynch.
Even better.
Who unfortunately got arrested on suspicion of a DUI today.
I saw that just before the show. And like, I was actually, when I saw that headline, man, I was thinking about what his arrest was actually like. And knowing Marshawn, like the cops was probably like, man, I'm Marshawn, man, I'm sorry.
I don't want to do this, but I got to.
Right.
It's 7 in the morning, my dude.
Right. And Marshawn was probably like, I understand, bro. You know, like,
can you take my sandwich with me?
Right. You know, so hopefully he's all right. But yeah, that sucks.
Yeah. MRI reveals serious knee injury for Jets. Becton done for the year.
Yeah.
Avulsion fracture of the kneecap is the official diagnosis.
Man, listen, avulsion. I'm gonna have to look that up. And this is something that
You're talking to two people who kind of dabble in the medical field in their day job, and that's a different word to me.
Yes. And he's gonna be out for the year. The question, this is big for them because he was going to apparently move over to the other side since they got another tackle in there. But regardless, they just drafted him a couple years ago. So this was big.
Played a full season yet
for him. This was going to be a huge year. So I'm interested to see how this happens or what happens with Mekhi Becton moving forward, coming back off a knee.
I just hope he's not one of those, man, he could have been cases in a couple of years. You know?
Yeah. A lot of talent, though. A lot of talent.
Yeah. The Cincinnati Bengals now play at Paycor Stadium. They got the rights.
Yeah. What is that?
My wife told me, and now I've completely forgot. It's a big company in Cincinnati, and it's based in Cincinnati. I think it's medical.
Right.
Like it's either
sense.
She told me it's medical or marketing. It's one of the two that my brain is trying to remember.
Yeah.
But hey, another great news for they do HR and payroll. Okay, I was way off.
So they just decided they wanted a stadium. You know what I mean? Like they just decided they wanted.
But apparently they are Cincinnati. You know what I mean? So good for them. And Burrow's improving. Had some light throwing at camp today after his appendectomy. What was it? 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. I did see that. Good for him, man. I mean, right on schedule. No need to really get in there in the preseason, you know.
Nope. NFL owners unanimously approved the Broncos sell to the Walmart-led group.
Oh, it's those Waltons?
Yeah, that's
wow.
With Condoleezza Rice and Hamilton, the driver, the British Indy driver.
Formula One driver. Lewis Hamilton. Hamilton. Yeah.
Sir Lewis Hamilton. He's knighted.
Oh man. I mean, that's big company right there.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. That's just an odd group to own the Denver Broncos.
Money is
Walmart, a driver, and Condoleezza Rice.
Yeah.
Probably Russell Wilson when he finally retires. Or does he go back to Seattle and buy in?
Depending on how this ownership group goes, it might be an opening for Russ. So maybe, you
know. Kareem Hunt requests a trade. Cleveland says, nah.
Yeah, that was quick. That was very quick. The hold in that was not, I guess. He went there, and he's just not in a position to kind of ask for that. He is a backup. He's one, and not only that,
I mean, one of the best backups.
One of the best backups. One of the most highly paid backups too. He is top 10 as far as per dollar per year, apparently, right? So, like a number 8, I think, randomly enough as a backup. So Nick Chubb also wants more carries. Kareem Hunt, you kind of not in a position, you know what I'm saying? The Browns also saved his career too. So
yeah, don't they still have Ernest Johnson too on the squad, don't they? Who
yes,
came
they
on
do.
last year.
Yep.
So bye,
So
Kareem.
that, yeah.
As far as early camp quarterback battles go, rumors are Geno Smith in Seattle and Baker Mayfield in Carolina are leading, I guess, Drew Lock and Sam Darnold.
That is interesting. Not necessarily Baker
The
Mayfield,
Baker
right?
knew that, but
Right.
Geno,
Geno, yeah, Geno. Geno's he's a steady Eddie. I wonder if
there's a reason he's still in the league.
Yes. So maybe you would hope for Geno's sake, right? Maybe this is the perfect storm for him. Like, it's going to be that year. But I am very interested as well as I, ask you as well, how to see if he wins the job, how they come out and play.
That's very. He's one of those dudes that I could see the team just rallying around. Like a Trent Dilfer,
yeah,
or Brad Johnson.
It's always easy to root for a guy who the expectations aren't there. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's easy to root for. So yeah, man. Like, we'll see. I mean, they schedule. I don't know.
Oh yeah, dude, their schedule is ridiculous. Ravens we were talking about how Boswell tied Tucker for the highest paid kicker. The Ravens like, nah, gave him 4 more years. Now he's the highest paid kicker again.
4 more years.
Yeah.
Are you surprised by that at all?
Nah.
Yeah.
Because kickers are anything but consistent these days, but he's as consistent as it gets, I feel like.
Yeah.
Like, unfortunately his misses are pretty notorious, but
big. They are big, but how many other teams would actually love to have that, especially if he's a guy that can put you over the top? Like, say if you put Justin Tucker on the Chargers.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that. So $6 million is not that much money for a clutch guy like that. 66-yard bomb kicker.
Oh, you talking about Justin Reed? Did you see that?
Oh, I did see that.
Man hit a 65-yarder at Chiefs camp.
Yep.
Or was it 67?
I mean, that's worth an extra $1 million on the contract, is it not?
Right. Backup
kicker.
Let's go. Ravens just keep piling on the good news, which after last year they can use. They officially get running back J.K. Dobbins back.
That is big.
Yeah,
that is big, because when we were doing the research for maybe this show, maybe the next show, I don't know where they're at on the list, but I will tell you this: there's a big old Q next to J.K. Dobbins' name, so that's huge news. That is huge news, Drew.
Yes, sir. Hard Knocks coming up. They got the Detroit Lions this year, and from what I've read, Aiden Hutchinson, their first round pick, sang Billie Jean and, quote, most entertaining rookie singing moment in show history.
Drew, that's saying something,
right?
That's saying something.
They've had some shows.
Yeah, yeah. That's actually one of the highlights of the Hard Knocks like season. Is it not? You know what I mean?
The rookies get picked on.
Yeah, exactly. And it's made for some iconic moments every time the rookie show from the year 2000 Ravens camp comes up. I die laughing when they impersonate Shannon Sharp. Like, the rookie show is the best.
That bucket hat had me in tears, dude.
Yes. I mean, bucket hats still be out there. If you watch some training camp photos, you'll see a bucket hat.
I'd wear one if I had to go to training camp tomorrow. I'd be like, hey, let me get my team's bucket hat right now.
No doubt.
Got to protect the ears,
I understand that. Listen, like, I do enjoy that, man. I do enjoy it.
Yeah. So I'm excited. It's hard to say I've been excited for Hard Knocks last few years, but I'm kind of excited. It's the Lions. It's Campbell yelling at people.
It's the Lions. Did you see the trailer with Jamal Williams? Like,
no, but he seems like he's so entertaining. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
Like, dude has been just charisma every interview I've seen of that dude. So yeah. I'm kind of hyped. Last housekeeping note I got is just the poor Browns. fear slot receiver Grant, who's been killing it in camp, has torn his Achilles and will miss the year.
That is unfortunate. Especially him being on a new team in a new situation. You always want to come out
and shining.
Thing. Yeah, he
by all accounts was shining.
Yeah. We'll see what's going on.
Now is the time of the year where those injuries just keep rolling in, though, you know?
Yeah, but you hate it, though, because it's like the promise to be, though. You know what I mean? Like, there's so much hope for whoever, and everybody's excited, and it's just the worst time. But as a fan for your team, is it not if it's going to happen, shouldn't it happen now, you know?
And not the first round of the playoffs, it breaks your heart.
Yeah.
All right, let's kick it into 3 and out, because I'll go first down on you, because it kind of matches up. Now that the injuries have started rolling in, which NFC team should be more concerned about their O-line woes? Green Bay or Tampa Bay?
I got to go with Green Bay on that one. Only because Tampa, well, I don't even want to say it's a bias, because most of the news that I'm going to follow is Tampa based, and there's not really a lot of worry about this offensive line. Like, apparently those boys are getting after it.
It's going to be all right.
Right. And and look who they're going against, though. Now, not to say that the Green Bay offensive line isn't going against slouches, right? But like Vita Vea, Keem Hicks, every day. And I feel like the losses are a lot bigger for Green Bay. I mean, Bakhtiari, who knows when he's going to come back, right? Like, right. Elgin Jenkins is a damn good tackle, and that's their book ends. Like, yes, the center is an important position, but Hainsey's been holding his own, which is what I can say going against that defensive line. So I'm a little worried about the Packers, because the Packers schedule was just as tough as ours, and I think we can still pull these games out.
Very well answered, sir.
Nice. All right. Does that lead us right into second down? I feel like since it's such a good question, like it should be like it should be a layup. It should be a layup. So this is like 2nd and 3. We'll say 2nd and 3.
Okay.
Right. Offense humming. We got it.
Okay. We're going no huddle. Let's go.
No huddle. Let's go. Since mentioning the Saints should be on the radar, it seems that the football cognoscency has kind of caught on, and this train is kind of it is going off the rails a little bit, Drew. So I guess that's my question to you. Is this Saints hype train too big? Double question. And should we be concerned about a flop?
I mean, I don't think we should be concerned about a flop. I think we'll welcome a flop, very much so. You know what I mean? Like, Saints fall flat on their face. You know what I mean? But like, they got too much talent, man. But I'm worried about Michael Thomas's health. You know, I don't know. Can he play a whole season? Can any of those other wide receivers step up? Like, we're ready to hand Olave the keys of the kingdom, but he's still a rookie, so he can do rookie things.
Good point. Yeah.
And then, like, I got faith in the dude this year, but you really, really that confident? If Jameis Winston is you're banking your entire season on that dude?
That's the thing. I think it will. Obviously, it's the thing. It's the biggest thing. The quarterback. I mean, what I wonder though is, like, there's been so much positive in the media coming out about him, and like, obviously, you're not going to put negative stories out there. But I wonder what the negatives are behind the scenes. You know what I'm saying? Like, it can't be all positive. So, just to Drew's point, we've seen Jameis. We know what he's capable of. Offensively, we know what he's capable of turning the ball over. So that's their biggest question. Alvin Kamara is not going to be there. Michael Thomas also needs to stay healthy for it. So, like, there's some questions. First year head coach, transition. It can't all be roses, but the potential is there for them.
Exactly. I think with the NFC being as down as it is,
right,
people are saying they're better than most.
Which could be the case. Like, they could just by default be better because the NFC's down as a whole. You're right.
Right. But I don't feel like they're a legitimate threat to taking the division or anything like that. You know what I mean? But they are probably gonna make the playoffs. That's how I feel about it.
Well, with your football knowledge, that feels good for me hearing it from another
Just don't
unbiased
ask
fan
me
who
about fantasy football.
also
I
hates
know
my
about
team.
football.
Right.
Yeah, I like
Right.
football. Just don't ask me about the player.
It's always good to hear that a rival of your rival thinks that your rival is not good, right?
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Enemy of my enemy.
Enemy of my enemy, baby.
All right. Well, I'll piggyback off that for third down. And we all, I mean, hands down, Tom Brady's the cream of the crop quarterback wise in the division. If you had to have another quarterback start for your team in that division, who you going with? You know, you got Mariota, you got Baker, you got Jameis. I mean, if you want to throw Taysom Hill in there, I won't be mad at you. You know what I mean?
Man, that's actually a good question because I guess I kind of not necessarily let the cat out of the bag, but I think it was pretty known that like if Baker was just going to rot on the Browns, I'd have taken him on the Bucks.
Why not?
Why not? Like let him sit behind Tom this year.
So I'm saying we gave up what, a 5th round for him?
That's a value add. That has the potential to be a huge plus for what you're getting Baker at. You know what I mean? Like,
and Cleveland's paying most of his salary.
Win-win for everybody.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
And he's pissed.
It's a no risk move. One of the best no risk moves that Matt Rule has made. Like you got to admit,
and like I do have to talk about this because you just hit that switch in my mind. My man making the offense run because they celebrated a 50-yard touchdown at camp. My dude. This isn't high school. This isn't college. These are grown men, and they're getting paid to play this game. And this year, especially, they're trying to play to save your job. If Baker throws a 50-yard touchdown to Higgins, let them celebrate. We need that. You're in no position to run a tight ship, my dude.
I couldn't have put it better myself. And that's
dude, reading that pissed me off so bad.
Yeah, I bet it did, man. Like, and there's context to everything. Like, you don't want them to get too high because it's a practice touchdown. Obviously, you want to do it in the games, but I think Drew kind of hit the nail on the head. If this is a team that hasn't had a lot of highs and this is a rallying point, you need to let it be that. So like that, maybe that's a sign that it's already going off the rails. And not only that, but I think you can have a team. Yeah, you can have a team that will win in spite of. Like they already know he's out the door, but they still mess with each other. You know,
that'd be great, man. If we stumble upon some wins, but by all accounts, the team's like, we're done with this dude. You know, so we still have a decent record and we get rid of our head coach. That'd be just, I mean, that's the perfect storm that I'm hoping for. You know,
right.
But I'm at the point now where he's annoyed me enough that if we got to lose to get him out of there, then we got to lose to get him out of there. And I'm prepared.
The rest of the team will still be there. Yeah. Contracts there.
Prepared for it. All right. What you got? Fourth down.
All right. 4th down, man. Scale of 1 to 10, Drew. How likely is it that Justin Fields lets the Bears know that he will not be re-signing with the team in the final year of his contract?
Oh, man. Already looking at the writing on the wall.
Wouldn't you be?
Yeah.
I mean, if you taking your career as seriously as you should be, like.
But I mean, now we're seeing it. Where's he going to go? I get him not wanting to sign, but are you going to go the Mariota route? You know what I mean? You're going to be a backup and hope you get picked up. Like, I don't know if he's like, this year's going to be a huge telltale on if he's going to be able to do that with authority or not. Because if he plays bad, he's got nothing to stand on. Like, Bears are going to be like, you're lucky if we pick you up.
Man, and that's the crazy thing is I really don't think the Bears are in position to kind of really do anything because they know that like the cupboard is bare in Chicago and he's like, trying to make the best of it. But you're right, he does have the ball, but with the talent and like how highly they picked him, I think there's a lot of other teams who have quarterbacks now that would take Justin Fields if he were available. I would like if they don't get it right. I think both sides have to do their best. Like, he has to win, but the team has to do right by him, or else I would probably be out of there.
Go to Detroit.
Yeah,
Stay in the
and there
division.
would be a market for him. There should be a market.
Stay in the division. Take golf.
Yeah, that would be interesting to see. I would love to see that battle.
Man. Yeah, you think he re-ups?
Golf might not even be there, especially if he don't ball this year.
Oh, no doubt. This is it for him. He might. I mean, unfortunately, it's the NFL. He might be out of there even if he does ball out.
That's very true.
That's
very true.
Garoppolo took his team to the playoffs 2 out of 3 years, and they're like,
There's better.
We could do better.
Yeah.
Nice, man. Well, that's it for 3 and Out. I got a fun little segment for you. I found the highest paid players at each position, because Justin Tucker just became the highest paid kicker again. Yes. The Ravens made him the highest paid kicker. So I wanted to look at the other positions and see who and we're doing per year average, not guaranteed money, signing bonus. That gets too complicated.
Right.
This is how much they get paid a year. So where do you want to start? You want to start defense and go to offense? You want to do offense to defense?
I think, let's do defense, because those are flashier than people think. Let me go defensive end.
Defensive end. TJ Watt. So they did edge rusher.
Edge, yeah.
Yeah. TJ Watt, $30.5 million a year.
Man. Imagine just like waking up and being like, regardless of what happens, I get $30 million this year.
Yeah, that's close to $2 million a game.
Damn.
Right. All right, we're next.
All right, let's go linebacker. Let's go linebacker, inside linebacker.
So they just did the linebacker group together, and it's Fred Warner, $19.5 million a year.
Worth it. He's worth it. Yeah, he's
a great player.
He's worth it, man.
But look at that difference between getting to the quarterback and being the best linebacker in the game.
Right.
Arguably.
Just from you a couple feet away.
Yeah.
Just a couple of feet. But, you can cover a little bit more. I love Fred Warner. It was interesting, though. What's interesting about you saying that he's the highest paid is with that 49er defense, bro. We talked about it last week. The linebacking core is stout. So who's not going to be there in a couple of years? Right?
They can't pay them all.
They can't. All right. Let's go running back.
CMC, $17.2 million a year.
Ooh, that is too rich for my blood.
And that's crazy, because CMC is 1 at $17 million. 2 is Zeke at $16 million a year.
Okay,
and then it falls off to not Kareem Hunt, but Alvin Kamara making $12 million a year. He's third.
Alvin Kamara is better than both of those two,
right?
So, man,
he signed his contract first.
True, which is it's all about when you sign, which I get that. But he gonna need a little bump up. Maybe not. They probably gonna keep him at 12 because he got suspended for them 6 games, possibly 6 games.
I mean, might be going to jail.
Yeah, that too. Yeah. That too. Can't play football in jail. You can, just not professionally.
You're right. I got a good team. All right, where do you want to go next?
Oh man, let's go quarterback. It's got to be Rodgers,
it's
right?
Mr. Rodgers.
It's Rodgers, right?
$50.2 million a year.
That's easy. He just signed that. That's right. He just signed
and
that.
And then Kyler Murray is too. Could you imagine? Yeah.
Damn, that's because he just signed. Look,
Kyler.
Wow. All right. Receiver. Wide receiver.
Cooper Kupp, $26.7 million a year.
Damn.
Half of what his quarterback, quarterback's get.
Man, that's Cooper Kupp is a rich dude.
Yeah.
Tight end.
George Kittle, $15.3 million. But I think Kelsey's like right at 15.2. So it's really like those
probably
two.
gave him the same contract.
Yeah.
Let's go. I know center was Ryan Jensen.
I just got offensive line.
Okay, yeah.
It's back TR. 23.5 mil.
Ooh, ain't it his back injury that's hurting him. I don't know what it
It's
is,
his
but
knee, I think.
I don't know what it is, but it is keeping him out, and he's making a lot of money. And I don't like, how old is David Bakhtiari? Like
He's got to be 30, right?
yeah, I think he's in his 30s, but that's not good.
Still
Man. It's
chugging
not good
beer at
look.
Milwaukee Bucks games.
It's not a good look.
And then you got defensive tackle. You got Aaron Donald, $31.6 million.
Yeah. Safety.
Minka Fitzpatrick, $18.4 million.
Minka's worth that. He's worth that.
Yeah.
He's worth that. What about I guess corner? That leaves corner.
Green Bay's Alexander. There's 3 players on this list of highest paid players belong to Green Bay at $21.7 million.
Damn, for them to be what I think are the number 4 or 5 team in the NFC, and y'all got 3 of the top
3
paid
of
players?
the highest paid players.
Man, that is not a recipe for success.
But is that saying they're throwing money at the wrong thing? You know what I mean? Like,
not necessarily, because they're the positions that they did are premium positions.
Yeah. And then just the long snapper is Josh Harris for the Chargers at $1.4 million.
Man, what a life.
Right.
You know?
And then Michael Dixon, the punter, highest paid punter at $3.9 million.
Okay. I could do that. Man, that's the thing about being, we talked about this before, but like, there's nothing stopping us from going out there and
learning
to kick and punt right now, and we can get into the league. There's nothing.
Can you imagine being a 40-year-old rookie? 40. I mean, we'd be on every sports channel in the country.
What would be most interesting is like, we still, like, our bodies were exactly the same, but we just train that one leg.
Just monstrous. Oh, one tree trunk.
Yep. Just normal average body, and like the leg cut from stone, you know, just going out there making $1.4 million.
Look like that Family Guy episode where Quagmire finds out about the internet. Except for be your leg instead of the arm.
Right.
Oh man. Well, yeah, that's the where the money goes. A lot of NFC money.
It is, for them to be a down conference.
Yeah. Like, you sure are throwing a lot of money at the problem.
Right. Sometimes it don't fix everything, man. I don't know, man. All right. Let's
get into our 9 through 12. You got AFC, I got NFC. Just a quick recap where Shawn sits with the AFC. He's got 1 Chargers, 2 Raiders, 3 Bengals, 4 Bills, 5 Chiefs, 6 Broncos, 7 Titans, and 8 Colts, just barely on the outside looking in.
Yep.
Just barely. With the NFC, I got 1 Bucks, 2 Rams, 3 Packers. Then it's got Eagles, Saints, Cowboys, 49ers, with my beloved Panthers just barely missing the playoffs.
That's right. Optimistic as hell.
Hell yeah. Gotta be.
I love it, man. I love it.
I went all out for them last year, and they proved me wrong. So I feel better than I did last year.
Just throw money at the problem.
Just keep going. I'm like Jerry Jones thinking the Cowboys are going to win the Super Bowl.
This is the year.
This is the year.
All right. So you want to go first, or you want me to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first. Number 9 in the NFC. They had to fall somewhere because they do have some talent. Kind of the best of the rest. You know, It's the Arizona Cardinals.
Yes, for all their highest paid quarterbackness. Number 9.
Yeah, that hurts, man. Because I mean, they brought in Hollywood Brown, but he could be having some legal trouble. You know what I mean? And Hopkins is out.
Yep.
They brought in their other big pickup on offense was Darrell Williams from the Chiefs, the running back.
Yeah.
Is Watt going to be healthy? How do they replace Jones? You know, I feel like that was like their identity on defense.
Right.
They lost Edmonds, so some depth at the running back position. They lost Kurt, made some great plays for him last year.
Yeah. He went off to Jacksonville. You're right.
And I mean, they lost Butler, you know, in the secondary. And then just looking at their schedule, every single week is going to be a battle. Like
Yeah.
there were not many like cupcake games, if at all.
Yeah. I really feel like that the schedule makers, for every time I hate them, like they were in their bag this year. Like I feel like a lot of the teams that we have previewed, their schedule is front loaded for at least 4 or 5 weeks deep, man. They are facing monsters and in great matchups, very intriguing matchups. And it lasts throughout the season. I'm finding, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just a mix of the divisions or whatever, but I'm telling you, the season is going to be, it's going to be crazy, man.
Well, they're like, y'all don't want Jags Bears Thursday night. Okay. We got you.
Yeah.
How about a Super Bowl matchup?
Right. You know what I'm saying? Potentially. I love it. But Drew, they're paying a lot of money, and there are a lot of things going wrong for the Arizona Cardinals for a team that does have a lot of potential to be sitting that low. So if that happens, what are you thinking about Cliff Kingsbury?
I mean, does he go the way of Chip Kelly? You know, the promising college coach that just never really like had some early success, but then just never really figured it out.
It might be. I don't know if they would hold on to him or get rid of him, but I definitely know his seat. It should be hot. It should be hot if they don't, you know.
And you know, NFL teams are quick to pull the trigger on a, you know, so
yeah. What are you thinking in terms of like?
I think if they miss the playoffs, he's gone.
Okay,
because he's just an easy fall guy.
True. With a team like that, yes.
And it's not like his quarterback's going to stick up for him. His quarterback's not going to be like, no, that's my coach.
No, I don't think Kyler's doing that. I don't think Kyler's doing that.
So I don't see that happening, man. I think they got like 6 to 8 wins, depending on can they beat Seattle twice.
Yeah.
But I mean, just listen to how they start off.
Okay.
You know, Chiefs, Raiders, Rams, Panthers, Eagles, Seahawks, Saints, Vikings, Seahawks, Rams, Niners, Chargers.
The division does them no favors, though. Yeah. So if they have to facing those other teams, it kind of compounds the problem that they really, if they have that early success, they're going to need to sustain it. I think.
Then they come back after their bye week and play Patriots, Broncos, Bucks, Falcons, 49ers.
Formidable teams in there as well, especially towards the back end of that.
So unless you're counting Seattle, and I mean, I see y'all at home counting that Carolina game. As long as you know, if you're not like, I don't see a lot of yes, they're definitely going to win those games.
Yeah. I can't put that past.
Put his money up.
Yeah, without DeAndre Hopkins, who I will add that the video surfaced yesterday of him potentially causing the downfall, or at least making the downfall worse for D'Angelo Hall back in Hard Knocks, talking about Hard Knocks clips where he broke him after D'Angelo Hall tried to talk mess to a young DeAndre Hopkins, and Hopkins broke him doing things that Hopkins does.
That was one of my favorite clips from Hard Knocks, man. I love that. The joint practice. Oh, man. That used to be one of my favorite things about football, is watching D'Angelo Hall just get, like, I remember when Steve Smith had him on the ground and had him picked up by his helmet and was talking trash to him as he had him picked up off the ground only by his helmet. And D'Angelo Hall's a good 3-4 inches taller than Steve Smith. Yep. And my man had him like, you go listen to me.
Steve Smith did not care. One of the many instances that Steve Smith proved who he was.
Man, ice up, son.
Yeah.
God, I miss those days. Miss them.
Right. I bet you do, man. Steve Smith's one of a kind, though. All right. 9.
Who you got?
AFC. Miami Dolphins.
Oh, the Dolphins.
The Dolphins finally show up here. You know, the biggest the biggest question is Tua. It has to be. But
big old question mark.
The rest of the team is really not that bad, which is why I think the expectation should be high for this tampering ass team. Just like having Mostert and Sony Michel as the 3, right?
That's crazy.
Chase Edmonds is the one. I don't really necessarily know how it's going in camp, but just like with the backfield, you have Mike McDaniel, who there's no tape out on what he's going to do, even though he's from the
like
Shanahan system,
right?
maybe that's what works though.
Yeah.
I mean, he had to get the job for a reason, right?
Like he just seems like the type that makes a joke and laughs at his own joke, and he's the only one laughing at the joke.
Hysterically. But also they got Tyreek Hill, right? You also have Jalen Waddle. So the receiving core there, Cedric Wilson's the 3.
That's fit. I mean,
the line looks pretty good, man. Like the line looks pretty good. I mean, they brought in Teron Armstead, who's over from the Saints, obviously. If you can put that line together, along with the defense, like I said, there's not tape out on McDaniel's system. What he himself is going to run, being from that Shanahan or McVay system. I can't remember which one right now, but
I think it's Shanahan.
I think it is too. Coupled with the secondary, I know Byron Jones coming off an injury, but Holland, up and coming safety, linebacking core is okay in the defensive line, especially with the emergence of Jalen Phillips last year. Yeah. Looking pretty good, man. The schedule is where it gets off for me. So,
I mean, that's everyone's problem, right?
It really, we just talked about a second ago, but I will say that Miami, if Tua balls out, man, there is potential for them to upset what people think could happen. I could see Miami making a run. That being said, I got them about 9 wins. You know what I'm saying? They could get 10 wins if things go right, and Tua proves he was the guy who thought he was at Alabama.
Nice. Hey, man, apparently, if you listen to Tyreek Hill, he throws better balls than old Patrick.
If you listen to just tune that man out, man. Tune that man out.
All right, number 10. It's the Minnesota Vikings.
There it is.
Yeah.
Kirk O'Bangs.
I gotta give them credit because they got some talent on this team. You know what I mean? They got Dalvin Cook. If he stays healthy, one of the best in the game.
Right.
Justin Jefferson's ready to just have even more of a big season. Can Adam Thielen bounce back?
Right.
Can KJ Osborne keep maturing? They got Irv Smith Jr., who's no slouch at tight end.
No, they need him to step up, though. He's got to. I mean, I guess that's part of it, right? But
right. They got Kellen Mond, like you said, backing up. But no, they still got they brought in Zadarius Smith. They re-signed Patrick Peterson. Harrison Smith's back from injury-plagued season. They brought in that safety from Georgia.
Lewis Seen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They got Cam Dantzler.
He's got it. It might be he needs this year.
Yeah. Well, they got Andrew Booth backing him up to another young player.
Right.
So
yeah, that's right.
Ready to pull that trigger if he doesn't pan out,
Yep.
But I a lot of talent on this team. It's just El Capitan. It's Kirk Cousins' team, and he just has not shown us he can get over that hump.
Drew, like, weirdly enough, talk about Kirk Cousins, man, and you'll get a kick out of this, but there are 2 very prominent podcasts that I listen to, and it is now, like, just in this week alone, one copied the other, but like one has now been named the Kirk Cousins scale. And like is your quarterback better or worse than Kirk Cousins? That is the name of the podcast. Very prominent show.
That is fantastic.
And then the Ringer of all shows copied it, and they call it the Kirk Cousins scale of competence or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So like people are definitely on the train. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. I mean, but the Vikings aren't. That's what I don't understand.
Yeah. Which is that's just the tone deafness is a problem, right?
Out of all the quarterbacks that jumped on the carousel this year, the Vikings don't think, hey, maybe we should grab one.
Right. And they're out there to be had too.
They still could bring Jimmy G in, go to the playoffs.
That would be a little saucy, but they're too wrapped up in Kirk though.
I know.
With the money.
They got way too much money going to that dude. But they re-upped. They could have walked away. But they got a tough schedule. They got Green Bay Eagles 1-2. And then they got a very hungry Detroit Lions team at week 3. the
Division
Saints at
matchup.
4. And then they got the Bears, but then they got the Dolphins. They got a very early bye. Then they come back with Cardinals, Commanders, Bills, Cowboys, Patriots.
Yeah.
So I got them winning 6 to 7 games.
Man, okay, that's not great. I could see 6 to 7 wins, and I am 100% looking to get out of that Kirk Cousins contract. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, you think they
what is
beat
Dalvo doing?
Right. I mean, do they beat an improved Jets team? They got to play them later on in the year. Do they beat the Colts? You know?
Yeah.
Colts. A lot of tough teams.
Yeah, a lot of tough, and that's what I love about the intrigue that is a lot of the matchups in the season, is because for every team is coming in with their own questions, and every week they get a chance to prove, and then the questions are going to change, the narrative will change.
That's why we're here
based on how they do it, and I love it, man.
To ask new questions that pop up every week.
Yep.
All right, so what you got? Number 10 in the AFC.
10, Baltimore Ravens, my guy. Baltimore Ravens
fell. I forgot you hadn't called their number yet.
I have not. Yeah, they were going to have some questions. You mentioned they just got J.K. Dobbins back, which is going to help. But what about Gus Edwards and the rest of the rushing attack? You know what I mean? Like,
can't put it on one dude, especially a dude coming back.
You can't. And it's the receivers for me, man. I'm not a believer in Rashad Bateman and Devin Duvernay and James Proche at this point. I'm not. And Mark Andrews is there, but they still don't have anybody behind him, though. You know what I'm saying? Like Nick Boyle, who was that? You know what I'm saying? Like, and Ronnie Stanley's coming off an injury. Tyler Linderbaum is now has an injury, and they're very concerned about that. Their rookie
too.
That's what I'm saying. So apparently they're also changing to a zone blocking scheme just because they're drafting him and what he can do. That's a problem, man. That is a problem. It's still Baltimore though. And what does that mean? Baltimore's defense is still
win
good.
Games.
They do. They win games, and you can't deny what coaching and what he's able to do with that rushing attack and Lamar Jackson. That's a given as long as Lamar's not injured, and then what the defense is giving you is a given as well. So
just think last year they almost were 500 with no secondary and no running backs.
Yeah. Barren. I mean, it was a desert. It was a desert over there.
It seemed like every running back or cornerback they signed tore his ACL or his Achilles within like 2 weeks of something.
Yep. But that being said, like Drew was saying, I mean, they're still the defense. There's a couple of injuries. They drafted really well. How quickly we forget. I mean, David Ajabo is coming off that injury, and he's their backup. You know what I'm saying? They got Kyle Hamilton, you know what I'm saying, starting over Chuck Clark right now. Yeah, I don't know how that's going in camp, but like the defense is there. So like they
released Kyle Hamilton getting smoked like one of the first few days of camp. But I mean he's
you got to knock the rookie peg it down to 2. You know what I'm saying? I got to knock him down to peg it 2. I don't care how tall you are.
Yeah,
go home.
Yep.
I did hear randomly, and I'm talking about Camp Whispers, that Carl Lawson was like talking about Sauce Gardner. He was like, no, he's a mod. Until you make plays on the field, he's a mod in camp to us. Yes.
I mean, you got to
love it.
Can't let that dude come in with a big
head.
Let him earn it.
I know what his chain says. He can be Sauce in college, but you know, paraphrasing at this point. But
he ain't Sauce yet.
Yeah. I like it.
Love it, dude. You ready for number 11?
Let's do it.
Might catch you off guard a little bit. Big come up. It is the Detroit Lions.
Oh,
yeah, I got them making a jump this year, man. They're looking good on paper. I think Campbell can keep Goff in check. I think they can just run the ball, play defense. You know,
yeah.
Swift, Jamal Williams. They brought in Justin Jackson. I didn't know that. So a little pickup to be number 3.
Yeah. I'd take that.
St. Brown had a
Ecumenius,
came out a little bit last year. Had some good games.
Yeah, I like his potential, and you know what I'm saying, like building on what he did last year for sure.
DJ Chark came over. Think that could be a good pickup.
Yeah, we'll see.
I mean, Jameson Williams has to recuperate at some point. So that's going to be amazing to watch in Detroit.
Once he gets healthy, I want to see how he comes along and like what that offense is at that point when he's able to come back and what he's going to bring to the table. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he doesn't need to come in and immediately be that guy at that point either, which would be great.
Right. And then, hoping for a big step up from Hockenson too at the tight end spot.
Yeah.
But then they got the defense. You got Aiden Hutchinson with the pick, the first round pick. They got Michael Brockers.
Solid tackle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
I'm good.
Yeah. I'm hoping Jeff Okudah comes back strong this year. I think he was a very great looking prospect when he was actually on the field.
Oh, damn. I said it's right. Like I said Equiminius. I meant Amon-Ra St. Brown, his brother. Yes. Who is the right St. Brown.
But he had a great year last year, I think, with what little talent Detroit had.
Yeah.
I feel like anytime Goff threw it down the field and one of his receivers caught it, it was St. Brown.
Yeah. And now
they still got Quintez Cephas too, who had a couple of great games.
He's I've seen a couple of highlight catches from his in training camp. So maybe this means he's about to step up as well. But like there should be opportunity there.
Them being at number 11 out of 16 teams in the NFC comes down to, I think they got a great coach who's going to will him to a win if he's got to do it himself.
Yeah.
And I think this team and the NFC being down, and this team has enough talent to surprise some people. Beat up on the Bears, steal a game or two. They got the AFC East. I mean the NFC East, beat up, steal one from the Commanders, beat up on the Giants.
Yeah.
And then they got Jacksonville on their schedule. They got the Jets on the schedule. They can get some wins, man.
Yeah, they can definitely get some wins. I think Detroit largely
6-7 wins from Detroit, and it's happy.
I'm very curious to see, now that you have them on your list, I'm very curious to see next week if I get into it. I'm like, damn, Detroit. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like that's gonna be fun. That's gonna be fun. I think next week will be fun. It's a lot of potential, man. So what do you think? Like, how many? You said 6-7 wins for them?
Yeah,
6-7 wins. I can see it. I
think they can steal some.
Who is it? Me? Is time for
number 11.
All right, number 11. Pittsburgh Steelers.
Ooh.
Yeah, Pittsburgh Steelers.
How
they just don't go away.
The depth of the AFC
They're still right there. And now, like, just off the top, there's a lot of variance at Pittsburgh because if again, like many teams that are right there, if this quarterback thing goes right, Drew, this team is pretty stacked. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I think
Mitchell Trubisky is gonna play pretty well.
He should. There's a team around him. I mean, you got second-year Najee Harris and Benny Snell Jr. That's a formidable rushing group, right? It's the receivers for me, though, Drew. They just paid Deontay Johnson. You have Chase Claypool, who is a monster, has been, even though he's a knucklehead. Well, even though he's a knucklehead, but he's a monster. And by all indications, it has been many people saying George Pickens is lighting it up in training camp. And that's number 3. They also have Calvin Austin, right, as a 4. So their receiving group's deep. Their starter, Pat Freiermuth, everybody knows about him, underrated tight end. And I want to know what the offensive line is going to do. So that's a question for me. But that defense is stout, bro. Like, that defense is very stout. Miles Jack coming over from Jacksonville, getting to revitalize his career, along with the secondary, which is always a strength. Highest paid safety in Minka Fitzpatrick, well worth
and
it.
Rightfully so.
I really like to see Ahkello Witherspoon's on his team as a depth piece. You know what I'm saying? So if things can go right, a lot of variance. Just looking at the schedule, though, is it might be his year, or it could be Could be Kenny Pickett if things don't go right.
He went to QBU last year in Buffalo, so maybe he picked up a thing or two.
Well, why didn't he go to QBU when he was in Buffalo? Wasn't he in Buffalo for a year?
That's what I'm saying. He went. He learned some things. How they developed Josh.
I thought you were saying like it was like an off season thing. I'm like, well, damn, he was right there.
No, they were saying that Buffalo is one of the best QB developing coaching staffs in the league. Because Josh Allen should not have become Josh Allen. Yeah. You remember his first couple of years.
Well, now Dayball's gone. Dayball's gone now. Back down in there, he in a different part of New York. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Either way. But with the Pittsburgh schedule, man, like I said, a lot of variance. 7 to 10 wins for Pittsburgh. Like if that quarterback spot, that's going to be the goal of it for me. If it doesn't go well, definitely closer to 7. If that thing goes right, man, and they make it, they're a pain in the ass, close to 10.
Okay. I'll wait for you to do number 12, and then I'll ask you my devil's advocate.
Okay.
Question.
I like it.
But number 12, I got the Washington Commanders.
There they are.
Still the football team to me, but they're the Commanders team.
Yep. What are you thinking?
It all comes down to Carson Wentz, man. This team is very talented. You got Gibson, McKissick running the ball, McLaren, who just got paid.
Right.
Curtis Samuel, Dotson, Logan Thomas, if he can get healthy.
Stay healthy.
Brown is a great receiver as well.
He's got to step up. Yeah.
Andrew Norwell anchoring that offensive line. Trey Turner and Tyler Larson are depth pieces. That's amazing.
Yeah. Well, Ron has an affinity for Trey Turner.
Yeah. He always going to be on the squad.
Right.
And then you got Chase Young, if he can come back healthy.
Yeah. I think he's going to be out to start the season, though. That's what they're saying. Oh, pup list or something like that. But with that, you can come off at any time, though. So
nice. Then you got the law office of Payne, Allen, and Sweat, also on the defensive line. So that's just amazing. Holcomb, great linebacker.
Yeah.
Jamin Davis, David Mayo, Kendall Fuller, Bobby McCain. They got names.
Right. But they underachieved last year, though. You know what I'm saying?
And they got Carson Wentz, the king of underachieving. So I think they're all just going to underachieve together.
I mean, they're at what you got them at 12. So it's not like they're setting the world on fire. And I think that if they're at 12, they're like Drew just all the potential, right? Everybody you named, all the potential, even though they underachieved last year. Carson Wentz has been erratic in camp, which ain't good. So if they're sitting at 12, man, where you have them,
what happens, Sean?
Things are changing.
What happens, Sean, when Doug Peterson, Carson Wentz, old coach, comes in with Jacksonville and beats them week 1?
Ooh.
What's that going to do to Wentz's confidence?
Ooh. That'd be 2 big spots Jacksonville beat his ass. That is going to shake his confidence. That could be a snowball effect, I think. Ron Rivera seems like a steadying force, but Carson Wentz has already proved with some other good coaches that he kind of is numb to that with his spells of, being erratic. So
they got 2 very tough teams who are looking to improve from last year. Jacksonville, Detroit, 1-2. Then they got 2 big division games with Philly and Dallas, 3 and 4. Then they got the Titans, play the Bears, but then they got the Packers, Colts, Vikings, Eagles. Bam, bam, bam.
Yeah, that's a tough stretch.
I got them winning 5 games, 5-6 games.
Yeah. That seems like about right. That seems like it, or it could be. It could be. Put it that way. Like I know I'm a little bit more optimistic on Washington, like where I have them placed.
Grew up I can't say their name, but grew up a Washington fan, so I'm fully prepared to take the disappointment.
Nah, I can understand where you're coming from that, but I'm a little bit higher on them. I guess I'm a little bit more optimistic, but I was more optimistic a couple of weeks ago before these reports of Carson Wentz having an up and down training camp. Yeah, so we'll see how it turns out. Maybe they get it turned around. But You nailed it, man. It's going to go how he takes them, and a lot of questions there's so many more questions to come with Washington. Honestly, there's so many more depending on how the season goes. So, that leads me.
I got a feeling they're going to be in our segments quite a bit this year.
That leads me into my 12th team. It is the New England Patriots. Ooh. Taking a deep dive down the AFC power rankings here.
And they can always just fire the offensive coordinator.
Well, that'd be Matt Patricia. Apparently, I think and right now, man, it's looking like, Mac Jones talking about being erratic after his promise of his rookie year. They had a pretty good offense. He's not really taken to this offense as well as he should be, but it also is training camp, so you don't want to get too far ahead of yourself. But like, they are doing a new running scheme and changing the offense a little bit, and it's like, why are you fixing something that doesn't need to be changed? Like, I don't know what they're trying to do, but maybe they're trying to set it up for the future. You know what I'm saying? Like, and just starting it now. I don't know. But the receivers are definitely still a problem there. I'm not trying to go in there with Jacoby Myers and the other guys. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not trying to do that. So the schedule.
No faith in Kendrick Bourne?
Yes, Kendrick. I mean, I like Kendrick Bourne, but not to take a team to where you want to go.
Fair. That's fair.
You know what I mean? As a one, nah. Like, nah, I'm not doing that. But
come on, Nelson Aguilar. Come on.
Nope. I will say, just being in the AFC East, obviously they're still going to be looking up at Buffalo. And in my eyes, they'll be looking up at Miami this year too. You know what I'm saying? So that leaves Jets. Talking about having more questions to be asked. We talked about it before, man. If they can't get right, I have New England. Looking at their schedule, I got them winning 5 to 6 games. A couple of
big drop off from 11 to 12 right there.
From what I'm hearing now, I just don't see it. I think the AFC is too powerful right now for them.
They play all the good teams.
They do, and I think that's part of the problem. So, 5 to 6 wins.
God, their schedule is
it's pretty brutal. It's pretty brutal, and that's not. They got 2 games
every week. Mac Jones. It's a test, bro.
He will be tested. And the defense is still pretty good. The defense is like, it's still Bill Belichick. It's a Bill Belichick defense. They'll win some games, but it's the expectations are higher than that, and I don't think they're going to meet them this year, to be honest with you.
Hypothetically speaking, you have the AFC West as your wild cards.
Mm-hmm.
So out of the teams you just gave me, and even throwing in number 8, who you had last week, Colts, Dolphins, Ravens, Steelers, who you said if some things go right for them, they could have better years. So who do you see, if you had to say, out of the Colts, Dolphins, Ravens, Steelers, who do you expect things to go well for? And who out of the Raiders, Chiefs, Broncos do they knock out of the playoffs if things go well?
Colts, Dolphins, you said the
Colts,
first one.
Colts, Dolphins, Ravens, Steelers.
Probably the Dolphins. I'll be honest. Like, probably the Dolphins. I could see things going the most right because I feel like I don't know. Maybe it was just about researching them. Maybe it's I'm getting wrapped up in it, just like having researched them. But I feel like Tua should be set up. You know what I'm saying? He just has to not screw it up. The Colts, but I expect the Colts to be there though.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like, I think it's a given with the Colts that they are going to be in the mix. You know what I'm saying? Just because I have faith in Matty Ice. Yeah. So, and now who would they kick out of the playoffs? Who are those teams?
The AFC West, not named Chargers.
Denver. It's got to be Denver. Yep. Highest variance, man.
Yeah. Well, I'm also calling it, man. And that's it because I'm scared of the lady downstairs. But I think Pat Mahomes is going to have such a huge chip on his shoulder. I think every game he's going to be like, Tyreek said what?
Yeah. I can see him like
Tua's better than me. What? Yeah. So I think my man's about to go off. Who he throws it to, we'll see. But
Yeah.
I think he's gonna might throw it to himself. Who knows?
If he does it this year, man, that'll just add to his legend, And then like he'll be worth like it'll be no doubt that he's worth every bit of that big ass contract that he got,
I think he is.
Yeah.
Well, next week we'll switch it up. I'll round out my 9 through 12 AFC. Shawn will take the NFC because now I'm very intrigued where he goes from here with the NFC teams that he's picked.
Me too.
And I got some decisions to make on the AFC side. So after that, we got 2 more episodes. We got 3 more, that one, and then 2 more rounding out the bottom. And then we're ready for week 1, man. We're talking season previews, week 1, talking fantasy football by anybody not named me. So we'll bring some people on to talk fantasy football because I enjoy my football, but I know when to bow out of the conversation. So I'm going to prove y'all wrong this year. I'm not. I'm going to have another private bad year.
I'm going to get back.
But Shawn, where can they find you?
At the Kid Suds on Twitter, at nickel_dom FB on Twitter as well, and at nickel_dom football on IG. Drew, where can they find you at on the socials, my guy?
At Laugh with Harrison, all one word on Instagram, drewharrisoncomedy.com. A special comes out on the 26th. I need y'all to watch it. Just even turn it on and walk away. Do your chores. Just have it on in the background. I just need them views and them streams.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
But hit that subscribe button. We will see you next week.